Hello folks, Lucas today, in for Prior Attire, and today we'll be looking at the gentleman dressing in the 1890s for winter shenanigans, outdoor in the snow, outdoor in the fun, hunting, shooting, that sort of thing. First of course I have to put on my long johns, my underwear, so... Quite dizzyfying. Well, here I am in my long johns, or union suit, depending on which part of history you want to look at. These date back potentially to the end of the 18th century, and certainly in the form you see here have continued to the modern day. Were made popular by John Smedley of Matlock in Derbyshire, and also John Sullivan, the strong boy of Boston apparently. More on that in another video, no doubt. So, what's next on the list? I like to start with the socks. These are long socks because they'll be going under breeches, because I'll be out and about in the field, and these will go into reasonably heavy boots. Good solid woolen socks, and they will need garters or gaiters at the top of them. I'll get those out of my pocket in a moment. With these and the long johns, I should be nice and warm. Typically, the socks will be held at the top, secured at this length with a gaiter or a garter of some sort. In this case, I'm going to use some elasticated ones. Elastic's perfectly fine for the Victorian era. It was quite popular. And a nice little decorative tassel at the side as well. Right, under things ready. Next, I think, my shirt.
Whatever you do, don't lean backwards. Not lean forwards much more.
In this case, a shirt, a countryside classic. From earlier in the era, a standard linen shirt would be worn. I might be a shirt with cufflinks, for example. In this case, this is buttons. It's a fairly modern look, which you can see up to today, in fact. Buttons. Yes, loves buttons.
Yeah, right.
And I'm already too warm. Leave that up for my tie. Very important. Next, a pair of breeches. These are a sporting cut. These will be held up, as you can see, by braces. I've left these braces on rather than fiddling around on video putting them in place. These breeches are in Donegal tweed, it's a soft Donegal tweed, and you can also see that they're nicely lined. Definitely going to stay warm today. Very soft and smooth. The Donegal tweed lined in a soft wool.
Made by me.
Made by my darling wife, Isabella. And these, as I say, are a sporting cut in terms of the overall length and bagginess. There's plenty of movement, and they do up at the side, as you can see here.
Interestingly enough, the same cut of breeches can be seen on women's riding breeches from the 90s and early Edwardian era, and actually up to date, although nowadays we tend to have elasticated cuffs rather than laced ones, but the cut is basically the same.
Plenty of movement, they're baggy. I could climb in these, walk in these, I could potentially ride in these, I suppose. As Isabella said, women's breeches will also have potentially leather parts to them to protect against the saddle. Right, just doing up my cuffs. I do have some nice antler cufflinks somewhere. Maybe put those on later. Right, next, my tie. And as any gent knows, none of that schoolboy knot nonsense for us, no. We're going to have a proper Windsor knot here. Over, round, and through. Round, and through. Round. Shall I get it right this time?
I knew it was.
It was right, just wasn't quite long enough.
I knew it was
Around,
going to be like that.
and through. We do it on purpose. There we go. A proper Windsor knot is triangular at the top. I thought Windsor's more appropriate, isn't it? There are, of course, many, many ways to tie a necktie, and many resources online to show you how to do that. But I like this classic. It's neat, it's tidy, it's balanced, it does the job.
And you did it without a mirror.
Yes, yeah. Oh, of course. Try me with a bow tie without a mirror, that's a different matter. Next, my waistcoat. Again, this is a practical garment. It's durable, in a light tweed again. Excuse me. And not only keeps me warm, gives me extra pockets. Who doesn't love more pockets? Now, once we get into the 20th century, I wouldn't be doing up the bottom, a button in this case, about the late 19th century, but after the 90s, in deference to King George, of course. Really a First World War sort of period. But until then, it's perfectly normal to do up all the buttons on your waistcoat and acceptable. So, modern. Anyway, here I am. So, all buttons done up. Plenty of pocket space. And these actually come with a, well, my coat comes with a cap pocket as well. I'll show you that in a moment. So, I have on all my underlayers. Next would be my boots. In this case, a pair of good, sturdy walking boots. Suitable for the terrain. And these are big enough to put big, thick socks underneath, which is nice. I've seen a bit of wear, as you can tell. And again, as any gent knows, Oxford's for the city, Brogue's for the countryside. Next is a Norfolk jacket. And a Norfolk can be spotted quite easily by its interesting construction with reinforcement tapes that go over the entire jacket. This was brought in the 1860s, and you can still buy Norfolk jackets into the 21st century.
And there was a female version as well, which was styled as Norfolk jacket, which I've made for the 1885. I'll put a photo somewhere here. But that's definitely a very popular model and still popular nowadays.
As you can see, the Norfolk jacket again is a Donegal tweed. It's a very good colour match, although the materials are different. My breeches are much softer. This tweed is a much denser tweed, it's a heavy tweed, good for going through bracken and heather and so on. One of the key points about the Norfolk is because of the way it fits, you can shoot in it. So it's often known as a shooting jacket. Good bit of padding here in the shoulder, good bit of fitting there. I've replaced the buckle on this from the original, but just for personal reasons. And as I mentioned, more pockets. There are pockets inside, there are pockets outside, and there's also what's called a cap pocket, which is a small pocket here on the inside for percussion caps, which is how shotguns used to work back in the era. So I'm almost ready. However, there are a couple of additional points. Got a scarf for later. And my most recent acquisition is a rather wonderful cape. Again, this is a lovely tweed fabric, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. Lined with a smoother,
Silk.
softer silk.
Mostly because it will move nicely. Whereas it was lined with wool, it may provide traction and catch
Quite.
what you don't want it to catch.
You don't want it catching, not at all. I always have fun with buttons.
Mm.
Am I in the right place?
We should have ironed this as well.
Should I? Oh, it's fresh out of the case. We're in lovely snowy part of the country at the moment, so it'd be nice to have this one.
And you can leave it open if you're actually doing any shooting, because that's
Indeed.
where your gun will be hiding underneath.
So, precisely, if you had a muzzle loading shotgun or a break action, either could go underneath this and it would be protected from the environment. This also keeps me much warmer. Believe me, I'm already rather warm. We are indoors. And you can see essentially the whole attire all in one place. I don't know if I even need a scarf with all this. However, last thing to have. Hat and gloves. This is a Homburg, I quite like. You often see the capes worn in later eras with a flat cap, often in the countryside. But I like a Homburg, out for a good hike or a walk. And a decent pair of gloves is always a must. Yeah. Where did I put my long stick?
Back home.
Ah, right, fair enough.
Well, let's see you outside.
Shall we? Love this. This is awesome.
Another twirl. Right.
Super.